No, they're not here.
Not here.
Again,
I'm Judith Jackson. I'm a Goongaroo woman from Queensland. I've been here since 1967 and loving it. I'd just like to acknowledge the Yalukit Willem of the Bunwurrung, their elders, both past and present, for allowing us to meet here today. Thank you very much.
Know who you are. You could be this, you could be that. You could be anything of everything, but I'd most of all be yourself.
We have a barbecue here at the Veg Out every Monday through Inner South as well, and trying to get the mob connected to talk about smoking. Straight away they thought, nah, I'm not going to give up smoking, you know. And I says, it's not about giving up the smoking, it's to come in and talk about why you smoke. And as a little incentive, I think we give them $20 each to come along, so that was good. They come along, and there was 14, the first time I think it was, 12 or 14, and they all sat around in the circle. I told my story about giving up and when I started and when I give up, and they were all telling their stories as well and went around in a big circle. It was quite good. Then we had another one about a month later, and there was 20 people that come along to that, and it was on our Rainbow Place Day. This cottage was being renovated and we went to the Echo Centre. So we were quite surprised that so many of them come up to the Echo Centre that day. And it was really good that they all stood up and told their stories on that day.
I'm 42 years old, very active when I was younger. Fit, played footy, played a lot of rep footy up there, up in Queensland, rugby league. Went to nationals for athletics, representing Queensland. Captain my state for touch with schoolboys. Sportsman of the year twice at school. So I was pretty, healthy, pretty fit, even though I was smoking too in high school. But when I got older, I sort of got married young, and give up from sport for my marriage, for that married life, and didn't play footy. Was very inactive for a long time, probably from about 21 to 27. Decided to get back in and back into sport again, just playing touch footy. Actually cut through the line. I was gone, nobody behind me, and I just had a sudden pain in my heart, in my chest, and collapsed on the field. Had a heart attack. So from that point onwards, I gave up cigarettes. It was important for me. I don't sort of try and push it on anybody else either. Just tell them my story, and if they can get anything out of it, well, I'm happy. Both my kids are older kids. My little son is 20, daughter's 19, and they don't smoke. I think because they've seen the effects of what it done to me. And just again, like I said, I don't like to push it on anybody else.
I smoke about 20 cigarettes a day. I'll buy a packet of 40 maybe every 2 or 3 days. Depends on what my emotional state is. It is very costly. I have asthma, which does affect me a lot with the smoking.
For me, I can't just completely stop. It just doesn't work for me.
My temperament goes up. I get too cranky, and and after 31 years, I get headaches and I get very, very irritable. So I decided this time round, like 19th, 20th time round, I will do it with some aids, and I will go to a doctor, and I will get nicotine patches, and I won't self-medicate myself and do it my own way. So I did it all like that, and this would be the most successful time since I've had the support.
Do you smoke at the moment?
Yeah, I do smoke. I average about 7 smokes a day. And since I've met the Stop Smoking worker, I've cut that down to 5. I've looked at my routine in the mornings when I get ready to go to work. I usually have 1 before I hit the work site. Now I no longer have that first smoke in the morning. So having a conversation with that Stop Smoking worker has changed me in that I'm looking at, I was always thinking about it before, but since I met her, I've actioned.
I gotta get off it because I got a heart problem. I had a heart attack in 2009. And every time it inhale, it seems like a wall against the heart, you know? That's why I really want to get off it.
I am an ex-smoker. I started smoking when I was 16 years old, and I gave up cigarettes when I was 38. And it's a long journey of smoking, and without a doubt there is some impact on my health through smoking for that long. In turn, giving up before I was 40 years old also had benefits.
You've got to want to give it up, and you'll never give it up if people tell you you have to. And I think, you just get to a point where in my experience, I just got to a point where I couldn't do it anymore. And I could taste the chemicals in everything, and I thought, these things are killing me.
Well, at the moment, I've lost a brother that was suffering from emphysema, and he was a very, very heavy smoker, in and out of hospital suffering and that, but he continuously smoked. He just would not listen to the doctors, and then one night in his sleep he went, and so that's opened my eyes a bit. I've actually cut down smoking because of that reason, but I haven't stopped because of the stress that I'm under, so I need that. And I don't want to go back to any other substance or anything, so smoking cigarettes are it to get me through my stress and trauma and stuff. Yeah.
Has anybody in your family been affected by smoking?
Yeah, father.
What happened to him?
I think it must have been emphysema because he couldn't walk 10 foot without having to pull up and have, popping up and out of breath and all that. And he eventually died of a massive heart attack, just blew the bottom of his heart out. Nothing they could do about
I just remember my granddad, he had tuberculosis. He died of tuberculosis, and as long as I remember, he had a fag hanging off his lip. It was like he had a dent when he didn't have a fag, where he hung that big, that rollie off his lip, He smoked them non-stop as long as I can ever remember. And then my other granddad, my step-granddad, or if you want to call him that, he had to go on the ventilator machine. So, from about 45, 50, I reckon he might have been on that machine, couldn't work, and had to have that mask and have to have the oxygen. So I grew up around 2 people, and my dad smoked. So I grew up around all them people that smoked, and Yeah, I just remember that about my granddad with the Ventolin machine, and I thought, I don't want that for myself, you know? I don't want to have to be on that machine when I'm old. Even though I still might because I smoked for so long, but by becoming a non-smoker, I'll definitely give myself a chance to not have that happen to me in the future, I hope. You know?
What made you start smoking in the beginning?
I think it was to belong. To belong to another culture. And I saw non-Indigenous culture that was a way of belonging in a group. And because back in the day we didn't get access to resources, money, jobs, all those socio-economic things, and you had to belong in a group. And albeit non-Indigenous, and sometimes Indigenous, and it was a safety thing. And to get access to, because we wanted to belong. I'm thinking 30, 40, 50 years ago, we wanted to belong. We were out in the wilderness. And I think it influenced our culture. And one of those things to belong was to have a smoke.
When we were kids, we used to steal our fathers and our uncles' cigarette butts. They used to put them out, and we'd go down in the backyard, because then we were just to be seen and not heard. So we'd grab all their smoke and they left them on the table and that there. You know, the half-empty beers and that, and take them down the backyard and sit down and pop up and have a little drink, our own little party with our cousins, and that was how we got started.
What got you smoking in the beginning?
Just trying to be cool, you know, hanging with the crowd when I was younger, you know. That happened when I was probably in primary school. Grade 6, grade 7. Big brother smoked. All my family smoked, and, you know, the people I hung around with mostly are older people too, so I just wanted to be like them, you know, just have a smoke, really. So just, even though I didn't like it, but it was just, you know, yeah, just wanted to be cool like them, I guess.
Do you want to know when I started?
Yes, please.
About 5 or 6, and my sister-in-laws and my youngest brother, we'd sneak off, and we'd had money, and we'd go down and buy a packet of cigarettes. And in those days, you could buy a packet of 10 black and whites, and like there are a few of us there. Started smoking then.
I began smoking probably, I would say, about 8 years old, and I'd say it all started with passive smoking with my parents in the car. Most definitely, I was smoking bits and pieces of their cigarettes as they were leaving them in the ashtray and leaving the room. So I would have been like 8 or 9 or whatever, continuing doing that, spending lunch money on cigarettes and stuff like that. And then it wasn't until I was 15 I became habitually addicted to smoking.
12, 14 years of age, I think. I just thought it was deadly. You know, you think you're growing up, you're deadly, and smoking a cigarette and look good. And think you catch the eye of the boy you like. You think that at the time, you know. But then it became a social thing as I got older, and drinking. So drinking and smoking became a social thing, going out drinking and smoking. And getting older, sometimes I'd be home, sometimes during the week. I'd never have a smoke during the day, but the moment I went out at night and put a drink to my lips, the smoke would just come with that. So more or less full on from the age of 15 to the age of 50 that I smoked full on.
Hi everybody, my name is Todd Condy, a proud member of the Wajambara clan of the Yidinji, the traditional owners of the Atherton Tablelands. I've been smoking tobacco for the last 27 years, and I know it has made an adverse impact on my ability to practice aspects of my traditional culture. My goal is to quit smoking and be able to circular breathe one day so I can continue my culture.
What inspired me to give up smoking is, by trade, originally I'm an Aboriginal health worker and I worked at the Victorian Aboriginal Health Service for over 20 years. And during that role I felt that it was wrong that I was doing something and in a way promoting a message that it's okay to smoke when it isn't, because I know the impacts of smoking, which I've seen through experience with working with some of the patients at the health service. As well as at that stage I had young children, and I didn't want them to be exposed to the smoke, and of course the individual health impacts that it was having upon me.
I tried a couple of times before I actually did stop smoking, and then I thought smoking Alpine. Think, oh, that's deadly and it's soothing and that will stop. I only smoke Alpine now, you know, so, but no, it didn't work. And then the packs of 40 come out, and I'd buy 2 packs of 40, and when I went out smoking, and you share it with your mates, next morning you haven't got to smoke. Then I thought, that's it, I'm giving it up for good, I'm not going to smoke anymore. My mate, Maria, she was smoking and also smoked menthol. So when we went on a trip in 2000 to North Queensland, I said, no, that's it, I'm giving up. So it was easy for me because I'd light a smoke for her. And going along the track, I'd light it up, and just lighting that smoke would make me a little bit dizzy. And a couple of times, friends of mine and hers who went out socially when we were up in Queensland, having a social drink, and I felt like a smoke, I'd have a smoke, and oh, that was really bad. I'd put it out and put it in my pocket and thought I'd smoke that later. And I'd bring it out again. No, that was really bad again, the dizziness, and so that was the end of that. So I wasn't drinking as much. So smoking became easier to give up as well.
Well, it was hard. The first weekend was hard, but I just ate like Vegemite toast and started to eat fruit when I felt like craving. When I felt the craving of a cigarette, I'd have a bit of fruit instead. And I'd become a non-smoker. That was the other big thing for me. I was watching everyone talk about quitting smoking and giving up, and it was like I was watching everyone how hard it was for them, and I thought, no, I'm going to become a non-smoker, and I'm going to look at all the positive things that I'm going to gain from becoming a non-smoker. And yeah, the first 3 years of becoming a non-smoker, I bought a brand new car, and that was a big incentive, the money, and it paid for a brand new car. It was a little Daewoo, but it was a good car, you know. Yeah, so and you know, and some of the other things were like, you know, I don't smell anymore like cigarette, and my taste buds come back, and you know, they reckon that you might live 10 years longer. That sounds right. Yeah, just a few things like that. More kissable. Yeah, just a few things like that I thought about the benefits of becoming a non-smoker, and that's over 15 years ago now.
I feel now that I've never ever smoked in my life, and I don't know what it's like to have a cigarette. And it's so funny about people who have smoked, given up smoking, and are around other people who smoke. They're not very intolerant of other people that smoke, can't stand the smell. And I thought that I would never be that way with other people because I enjoyed smoking for a part of it. But then I become the smells become very sensitive, and you don't want to be around the smoke. I can't stand it, but I don't. I try never ever to say anything to people, and because I know it's up to them to make that step for themselves. You can't say, listen, you don't need to get onto people's backs, and there's enough warnings out there to make people aware that it's not good for you.
Personally, I feel good, because you can define different smells now. And when you were smoking, and my room smelled a whole lot cleaner, and my clothes. And I'm not out at night, late at night, walking around picking up dumpers and that, because I mainly smoke tobacco rollies. White Ox was my choice of poison then, and I'd save all my dumpers, put them in my pockets, and my coat pockets and trouser pockets, it smelled just like a rubbish tip. But now that all that smells totally different, and you can appreciate food more. Yeah.
My advice for people who really want to give up or really want to cut back, just, think of your kids, think of the people who love you around you, and for your own health too, think of yourself. There are benefits for you to give up smoking, but again, my biggest thing is if you're not ready, you tend to put more, stress on your own body, and it'll make you smoke more, and then just whenever you're ready, and you'll know. Just go with your own what your body's saying, telling you really, just and give up when you're ready.
What helped me was more of my responsibility as a person, particularly an Aboriginal man, and showing some leadership in looking after myself. Because we go to many funerals, and we deal with a lot of grief, and smoking contributes to the health, to the poor health. And we know that if all Aboriginal people quit smoking, it'll make a difference between closing the gap by around 11%. So that's how much impact it does have on our communities. Those messages made a difference and changed my mindset and emotions about quit smoking. And you get a strength, and when you reach your goal, you get even stronger because you've gone over a massive hurdle within your life.
While I'm painting and thinking about my heritage, smoking does not even enter my mind because it's not part of our culture anyway, and we weren't brought up with this, and has been introduced to us, so I don't really think of it while I'm doing my art. I could spend 4 to 5 hours at a table painting, and even when I get up to make a cup of tea, I'll just sit straight back down and start painting again. As long as I keep my hands busy, I'm right.
If you come to a point in your life where you say to yourself, I need to give up smoking, but find it very hard, you need to start thinking about how it makes you feel. What are the tastes that you're feeling after you've had a cigarette, and what gives you the urge to want to do it again.
It wasn't until I got professional help with my smoking that I was able to cut down, and that too is becoming a distant friend, hopefully.
The main thing that keeps me going is the little children. The smile on their face when you don't have to light up a cigarette or you're doing something that they appreciate. That's the most warming thing that you can ever have happen to your heart. And, it's all about this world today is all about little children. That's the way I see it anyway. I don't know how anybody else sees it, but that's it's your life choice what you do.
I've got grannies down here in Victoria now, and I want to be around when I see them grow up. So it's been very powerful thing for me to cut down on smoking, because I'm thinking about my responsibilities to my family, to my clan, and I want to pass on, and I'm already started passing on cultural knowledge to my grandchildren.
You know yourself when you're sick and you need to give up. Don't keep reaching for that smoke. You know, you say, well, it's about time I give up and started something new. Find something else to do.
The difference with the Aboriginal Quit line is that you get to talk to an Aboriginal person on the other end of the phone, and they will also do callbacks and keep supporting you for your journey of quit smoking. And this is a person you can connect to and relate to through either country or family, or even just as an Aboriginal person alone. Then you can know you can feel comfortable and be strong enough to talk about the hard questions and your most inner feelings about your smoking.
Hey, you mob, don't let our culture go up in smoke.